What's going on, everybody? We're going to get ready to get started in just a few minutes. Making sure y'all know y'all can share this show out. Make sure y'all share this show. And we are going to be getting ready to get started in less than 30 seconds. And we got quite a bit to talk about. We got a couple of new moves that were made late last week, earlier this week. And we're also getting ready to get started with the NFL draft. So stay tuned, y'all. All right, and the show we're going to get ready to get started in just a bit. We're going to get ready to get everything going in less than 60 seconds. So stay tuned for Titans and Truth. Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody? Good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody doing? Welcome into TNT tonight. Titans and Truth. I'm your man, Chris, aka Blue Enforcer, and we are going to have a very fun episode for you this evening. And I want to thank everybody for coming on in. We're going to be definitely having a lot to talk about as far as free agency. And as y'all see on the title, Free Agency Madness, of course, with March Madness going on as well. So definitely make sure y'all do, definitely do me a couple of favors first as more of you begin to come on in. First off, make sure y'all share this show out. If you haven't already, join some pages. Make sure you do. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on Titans and Truth on YouTube, the TNT Enforcers page, and like the Titans and Truth official page on Facebook, on Instagram. You can go under Titans _in_truth, and also on Twitter at TNT Blue Enforcer, as y'all see on the ticker at the bottom. Also, I definitely do appreciate any super chats that are given as well. So if you definitely do that, I would definitely appreciate that because you're helping me and helping the show as well. So again, make sure y'all hit that like, the subscribe button, and also tag that bell while you're at it. So that way you get all the live notifications. So whenever I go live or I have anything new coming out, you will be in the know. And as somebody has already mentioned early on, as Roman Reigns has done, smashing everybody, smash that like button if you could. And again, you would be helping me. I would definitely do appreciate that so very much. But let's get into it. I forgot one other thing I wanted to bring up to y'all attention as well. Just paying a few bills. Y'all see this hat that I have on, and also this Titans and Truth hat as well. Y'all could definitely get these. If you want them, get with me or get with my guy at Out the Crib Customs. That's at out _the _crib _customs on Instagram. Or I believe he still has his website up at outthecribcustoms.com. Again, you can also reach me on any of the pages on the ticker at the bottom, or my email address at canewell817 at gmail.com if you're interested in getting one of these hats. Also, the Titans and Truth t-shirts as well. You can also get with me or get with Miss Latoya Akinyemi at queenbutterflytees@gmail.com. Also on Instagram at queenbutterflytees. And again, if you want any of this merchandise, make sure you hit me up. As y'all can see, I am wearing the light blue Titans and Truth t-shirt. I'm gonna stand up so y'all can kind of see it a little bit more. But this is the Titans and Truth shirt, and as it shows, that's on the front, and then you see on the back, it has all the information: Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. All of it is there, so you could definitely be a part of the TNT Nation. So definitely make sure that y'all definitely check that out, because that's some very good gear to have and everything. So we had a lot going on in free agency recently. I know last week, things were looking a little bleak because of the fact that we thought the Titans weren't really making any type of moves. But what has been going on is that the Titans have indeed made a few moves lately. And here are just a few things that we have seen recently. First of all, the Titans have brought back cornerback Buster Screen, who has did very well since coming to the Titans off of free agency. He did a very solid job for the team. So he got re-signed to a 1-year, $1.27 million extension for next year. Only $602,000 is guaranteed with that. I'm going to get to some of y'all comments in just a moment. And if I don't get to everybody's comments, blame my brain, not my heart. It's not that I don't want to read them. It's just, we're definitely trying to keep the show rolling. Also, Dontrell Hilliard is back on a 1-year deal. I like that move as well as far as the running back is concerned. And I mean, I think we still probably need another running back somewhere in the draft. I want to say we picked up a running back. I can't remember. Trent Cannon from the 49ers. He's more of a specialist, so I still think a running back could be had in the draft at some point. We bring back Fat Randy as well to be our kicker. 2-year, $4.68 million, only $1.2 million guaranteed. So I mean, they could cut him after this season. And then, of course, Tierre Tart, 1-year deal as well. He's back on the team, and that is unknown as far as the terms. But the two main things I want to talk about is, Steven, you're right. I mean, free agency is basically overshadowed college basketball quite a bit. And we'll talk a little bit about college basketball towards the end of the show. But the main two that I want to talk about at the end are the two that you see on the screen, that being Austin Hooper, who signed a 1-year, $6 million contract, and then, of course, Robert Woods, who was acquired in a trade from the Los Angeles Rams. So, I mean, those are all the signings that I've seen so far, at least this week, for the Tennessee Titans. And I want to get some of your thoughts on some of these moves. And the first thing we're definitely going to talk about, and as we talk about these moves, another thing that we do need to update is the fact that Kevin Byard restructured his contract today. So, and that was the breaking news from earlier today, was that KB, the mayor of Murfreesboro, decided to restructure his deal. But what that means is that he's right at $10.97 million. It's been converted into a signing bonus. So that frees up more than 8.7 almost $9 million in cap space for the Tennessee Titans. And now I believe they're somewhere right at about $5 million under the cap. Then, of course, when June 1st passes, we get an extra $9.5 million from cutting Julio Jones. So shout out to the mayor of Murfreesboro, Kevin Byard, deciding to restructure the deal. But again, it's basically, instead of the base salary they earned through the year, they basically gave him that $10.97 million up front. And then that way his cap hit is not as high, and they save a lot of money off of the cap space. So they may have some other wiggle room and things to happen as far as a la an AJ Brown extension or a Big Jeff extension as well. So shout out to Big KB getting a restructure done. And I'm going to get to a couple of your comments as we get ready to talk about some of the other moves that have been made. I see CJ is in there. What's up, C Dub? Johnny Bell, what's going on? We're definitely going to talk about some other moves that were made. CW talking about the Hooper and Woods ads, saying that he really likes Austin Hooper and Woods ads, badly needed tight end one that can catch and block at a high level. Wide receiver 2 Woods, player who I've liked for a while. Josh, what's up with you? CW says that we'll also get a tight end and a wide receiver in the draft, running back depth as well. While I like to see bullet kick from 50, that is a concern. Jameson, what's up with you? Claudio says, of course, we have Allen Robinson to thank, and I do agree with that. And so it looks like quite a bit of everybody likes those signings. And so I'm going to talk about, I'm definitely going to talk about these moves. So I want to get y'all opinion as I get ready to talk about these moves. If you are approving of the moves of Austin Hooper and Robert Woods, type Y for yes or N for no if you do not approve of these moves. So that is going to be the question that I pose out to you. Again, I'm going to put this out. What did you think about these moves? Y for yes or N for no if you approve the move of Austin Hooper and the trade for Robert Woods. So let's get into, first off, Austin Hooper, and let's get ready to talk about that. Austin Hooper, 1 year, $6 million. Of course, he came over from the Cleveland Browns, was definitely with the Atlanta Falcons for a lot of time, and that's where he had a lot of his success starting off. Definitely had more than 500 yards, was a two-time Pro Bowler in Atlanta, and then now ended up in Cleveland for the last couple of seasons, and maybe wasn't used as much as he should have been used. He mentioned splitting time with other tight ends, and that might have delayed, his effectiveness and things like that. But I went and watched some film from No Flags Film. Shout out to No Flags Film, by the way. And by the way, what's up, AZ Mick? What's going on with you? And obviously, I saw he's a very effective blocker. Definitely an effective blocker. Maybe not, the perfect blocker, but he's definitely effective and also does a good job of catching the football, running some decent routes. And there were some things I did notice. Sometimes when he catches the ball, he goes to the ground really quick instead of, maybe getting a couple of extra yards. I don't know if that's maybe Baker leading him too far or anything like that, but you want to get some yards after the catch when it comes to that. But I think Austin Hooper definitely improves the tight end room tremendously. And he definitely would, I think, project to be the starting tight end for the Tennessee Titans. So I definitely like this move as far as getting Austin Hooper. And, as soon as he was released, a lot of people thought he would be a very good fit for the Tennessee Titans. And, the tight end class that looked at the beginning about 2 months ago looked real promising with guys like Rob Gronkowski, Zach Ertz, David Njoku, Mike Gesicki, Dalton Schultz. Looked like it was going to be a pretty good tight end class for the Titans to go after. But then, you see Schultz, Gesicki, and I want to say Njoku all got franchise tagged, so that took them away. Ertz goes back to Arizona. It looked like maybe Rob Gronkowski, that Gronk would be a potential fit here, but then, of course, overrated Golden Boy decides to come back out of retirement, and that pretty much closed the door on that happening because you know where Brady goes, Gronk is going to follow. So pretty much Gronk is going to go back to Tampa Bay. And so that kind of, dried up the tight end well that we thought would be pretty full. And then Austin Hooper gets released with Njoku being tagged, and it basically all worked out for the Tennessee Titans at the end of the day. So I definitely like this move for the Tennessee Titans. I definitely agree. It is a good move for them going forward. I think Hooper definitely fits in as a one. And let's see. DO9, what's up with you and everything? And I'm gonna get to your comments in just a minute. But I like the move. I really do. I like the move for Austin Hooper. I think it's a 1-year prove-it deal. If he really looks good as the season goes on, maybe he ends up getting, a bigger deal. 1 year, we really didn't have a whole lot of cap space, so we couldn't really go multiple years with that. And I see Orlustra, Al Pearson here. What's up with you, sir? But I really like the move for the Tennessee Titans getting Austin Hooper. The other move that was made was the Tennessee Titans traded for Rams wide receiver Robert Woods, which was made official today in exchange for not a 2022 sixth round pick, but a 2023 sixth round pick, which I, of course, put one word: it's a steal. It is an absolute steal that we got Robert Woods in this situation. Now, again, Robert Woods, of course, coming off of an ACL tear that he has suffered, I believe, in November, if I'm not mistaken. And Robert Woods basically was made available once the Rams signed Allen Robinson to a big contract. So that made Robert Woods a bit expendable. And so that was why basically, the trade was put out there that maybe Robert Woods could go out and get a trade. And come to find out, there were quite a few teams that were interested in getting Robert Woods, aka Bobby Trees, or I like to call him our new guardian of the galaxy. He is our Titan. He is our Titan Groot, if you don't mind. I am Groot. And I like that with Robert Woods, Bobby Trees, as he is nicknamed. So, I mean, again, looked at No Flags film. Definitely very good with the ball in his hands. He's a dynamic playmaker. So one thing about it is, you get, like AJ Brown, get the ball in his hands and let him make the magic happen. So I, definitely like this pickup for the Tennessee Titans. Got to see how he recovers from the ACL tear, and that was why we got him for a 2022 sixth round pick for anything. So we basically stole him from the Rams, and we don't even give up a pick in this year's draft. So I really like the pick. I like how he is after the catch. I like what he does with the ball in his hand. Sometimes they line him up in the backfield, did some jet sweeps or anything like that. Probably could do some reverses with him. And then he could play inside or outside. That works well with AJ. They just got to make sure to be creative with him and keep him in the game. So I definitely like that. He will be wearing number 2 like Julio was, but now that belongs to Robert Woods. So I like this pickup as well for the Tennessee Titans. Got to see how he responds from the injury. So again, here's the question. Do you approve of these moves? Type Y for yes or N for no. And I'm going to go ahead and read some of your comments as we talk about this. And let's see. Obviously, I think a lot of people went Y. James said, I like both Austin Hooper and Robert Woods, both really good blocking downfield. Main key when you run a run-based offense. I see DO9. What's up? Let's see. Steven says yes. C-Dub says yes. CJ says yes. James says big props to KB. Telly Yo Kicks. Remember, I'm gonna try to be out in Vegas, so I want to kick it with you. He says yes. Colin Bishop says yes, but wish we signed Hooper for more than a year. Again, it's a prove it year for him. Jameson says yes. So a lot of you looks like y'all are in agreement that this was a good deal. That this was a good deal for the Tennessee Titans. Carter says a true steal. Telly says highway robbery. Let's see. Lee 615 podcast. Hooper the solid signing. Woods will be an upgrade over Julio. We'll definitely see about that. C Dub says a true pro. Let's see. Woods better than Allen Robinson from CJ. Yeah, we got Robert Woods for a bag of chips or a bag of cookies, basically. Al Pierce says why. So a lot of you are in agreement that this was good move. And I tend to kind of agree with that. I think this is good moves by the Tennessee Titans. They get their tight end one that they desperately needed. They have now a replacement for Julio Jones as a wide receiver number 2. Now, with that being said, I will say this. Just because they made these moves, and I believe a commenter said it earlier, I'm going to go back and find a comment because I definitely do agree with this. C-Dub said it. This should not stop the Titans from drafting a wide receiver and a tight end in the draft very early. This should not hold them up from doing that at all. Definitely not. Jameson says why. So let's see. You know, James said, yeah, like he's been referred to as Bobby Trees from his time in Buffalo and his time with the Rams. Of course, I like to call him again Titan Groot, if you don't mind me saying, or Guardian of the Galaxy, so to speak. I am Groot. So, you know, I definitely like that. And of course, in Guardians of the Galaxy, I love me some Groot. I love me some Groot. You know, I trip off of the raccoon rocket, understanding them. All they say is, I am, you know, it's a trip with all of them. All Groot has to say is, I am Groot, and everybody seems to understand exactly what he's saying. So that's something that is a trip. CJ said, we still need an OC. But Long Tannehill plays well, doesn't choke. The OC wouldn't matter as much as long as he makes decent call. I mean, it is going to rely around Tannehill because I just don't believe he can do it. I don't believe he can lead us to victory. So, you know, I just think that, I mean, the OC is going to play a part. Tim Kelly's going to play a part as well in all this. Laurel Company says yes. Wow. We got our first no from Miss Mims, and if y'all know me, y'all know Miss Mims. She is a big time supporter of this show. She's a big time supporter of me, and is probably one of the most positive Titans fans looking at the glass half full or very full. This is the first time I've seen her being glass half empty on this. Miss Mims, tell me why you don't like these moves. The Titans needed a tight end, and they got a starting caliber tight end, and then they get a receiver, you know, albeit he has to come back from the ACL tear, but he's pretty good. So, Miss Mims, what's up? Are you in a bad mood today? What's going on? Come on, Miss Mims. You gotta come on back to us. I like that positive, that positive energy that you give. I'm like, the negativeness, I don't like it. Miss Mims, what's up? Talk to your boy. But I like the moves. I really do. And DO9 says Tannehill wasting our time. Now, again, this comes down to Tannehill. It does. At the end of the day, they keep saying they want to be better around Tannehill because, again, and we're going to move on, Marcus Mariota, same situation. They wanted to get better around him. Had a pretty decent offensive line. You had two good caliber receivers in AJ and Corey Davis. You had a good tight end in John New. You had Ferkser. You had Derrick Henry in the backfield. But Tannehill couldn't do it. Tannehill couldn't do it. I'm sorry, Marcus couldn't do it. Marcus could not lead them to the promised land. Yes, he got them a playoff win, but ultimately could not lead this team where we need to go. And now we're starting to see that with Tannehill. But basically, this puts the pressure on Tannehill. He has to deliver now. So let's see. Saying nervous in big games, has to warm up like an old 95 Honda. Sorry, man. We ain't got time for warm-ups. He's got to deliver. He's got to deliver. Big Titan TV says, don't think Woods ACL is a big deal. And everything. And then Lee's talking about Indianapolis got a bit better at quarterback. And I'm glad that you brought that up, Lee, because that basically shifts into our very next topic. Colts, but the Colts have to try to outshine us, and they decide to go ahead and trade for Falcon quarterback Matt Ryan. And all they end up giving up was a third-round pick this year. And you got to remember, and so at first when I hear this trade, I'm like, oh, the Colts don't have a first or a third-round pick. But then I had to remember they traded Carson Wentz, got 2/3 back. They got a third this year and a third next year from the Commanders. So they could give up their own pick. They still have the Commanders' third-round pick. So now Matt Ryan comes to the Colts, and it looks like Darius Leonard's trying to recruit Julio to come to Indy to reunite with Matt Ryan as well, which could spell problems with that. So here's the question I want to put out to everybody. Why yes and no? Does the trade for Matt Ryan really make the Colts a threat in the AFC South? And we're going to talk a little bit more about the entire AFC because we know another big move happened as well. So again, why for yes and for no? Does the trade for Matt Ryan make the Colts a real threat in the AFC South? Again, the Colts now have a new quarterback for the third straight year in Matt Ryan. So Matty Ice is in Indy. They're probably trying to get Julio. And, of course, all of this happens because, of course, Deshaun Watson got traded earlier this week, got traded to the Cleveland Browns, and the Browns give up a couple of first-round picks, gave up about 3 years of first-round picks, I believe, for him. I can't remember the entire compensation, but they gave up a boatload for Deshaun Watson. And now the Texans have, I believe, the third pick in the draft, and they also have the 13th pick in the draft as well. So remember all those years the Texans didn't have no picks? They got a bunch of picks now. They really do. And so now Deshaun Watson's in Cleveland. The problem is he's not the only quarterback still in Cleveland. They still have Baker Mayfield in Cleveland as well. And now that, he preferred to go to the Indianapolis Colts, but now because of that, the Colts got Matt Ryan. So now it looks like Baker Mayfield has nowhere to go. Although Baker Mayfield could end up in Seattle. It'd be interesting to see if Houston maybe goes to try to get him, but I think they're in a full rebuild mode. Carolina is still looking for a quarterback. So there's definitely a couple places. I would say Carolina, Houston maybe if they decide to do something, or Seattle is probably the last few places that Baker Mayfield could go. with Matt Ryan now in Indianapolis. And C-Dub says, how crazy would it be if Baker was Ryan's backup, pushed him, and if he failed, he would take over? I think the last year is the last year now he's got a chip on his shoulder. No, they're not going to trade for Baker Mayfield. I mean, if that were the case, they probably would have already done it, Baker for Tannehill straight up. I mean, Baker Mayfield is not much better than Ryan Tannehill. He's not a leader either. He wouldn't lead us anywhere either, and we would be in the same boat as we are right now. So, AZ Mick, I agree. We do need a better backup quarterback to compete with Tanachuk. I definitely agree with that. We need a backup. And I will definitely agree with that. So again, what do y'all think? Y for yes, N for no about Matt Ryan being a threat in the AFC. Ms. Mims says, what I meant to say is that when we got rid of Julio and they bring in some players, bring some of the players back and now Julio. I mean, again, Julio couldn't stay healthy. I thought it was a mistake that they cut Julio. I thought it was a big mistake. But again, with the money, you know, a lot of money was out there. You saved $9.5 million by cutting him post June 1st, and he couldn't stay healthy, only played 10 games. I get it. I didn't like it, but I understand. So that's what that is. James says, to be honest, I'm not scared and afraid with the addition of Matt Ryan to the Colts. Made a friendly wager with a friend of mine. The Titans are going to win the AFC South again. Wager might look pretty good. Let's see. I don't know. Again, y'all, Baker ain't coming to the Titans. Baker ain't coming to the Titans. And Lee's right, has our second round pick and Indy's third. Yup, Atlanta does have that. Let's see, Dragon 34. He says, I'm a Colts fan. Yes, but only if they gave Matt Ryan some weapons. Well, Dragon 34, I appreciate you being a part of the show. As always, everybody, I am welcome to any, as long as you come respectfully, I'm going to respect you and you respect me and we respect everybody here. We try to be a family. So, Dragon, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you, subscribe. Hopefully you subscribe to the channel. You follow along. Even though I talk a lot of Titans, there are times I will talk Titans, Colts, and I'll talk some more NFL stuff too. So hopefully you become part of the channel as well. But, hey, we'll definitely see what weapons they do decide to bring in the Colts. I will say this, y'all. I don't think the Colts will overtake us for the AFC, but I do think the Colts are a threat. I will say why for yes. I think this makes the AFC South a lot more interesting. Jameson says no. Let's see. C-Dub says why. They are a threat, no doubts. Wentz, ill-timed interceptions killed them. I agree. Matt Ryan is better than Carson Wentz, without a doubt. Alpin says, yes, it makes them better, but they still don't have enough to take the South from us. Again, I'm with Orlestruck on this. I think the Colts are a threat with Matt Ryan, but I don't think they overtake us at the end of the day. I don't think they overtake us at the end of the day. D09 saying we're putting Henry in a bad situation. Nobody's scared of Tannehill. Well, Tannehill's going to have to prove it. Ms. Mills, it's all right. We can agree to disagree. It's okay. Let's see. D09 says yes. D09 says yes, especially if they get Julio. Yeah, that's true. AZ says yes. CW says, I think Baker's a better quarterback than Tannehill. Shoulder injury killed his season. So now I'm trying to play through it. Let's see. A lot of people can see Julio going to the Colts. Yeah, you got Pittman, you got Mo Alley Cox, Paris Campbell. So I mean, the Colts could have a problem. Now, that's another one, but I don't know if they'll do it within division. I mean, if they trade Ryan Tannehill to the Steelers, and then we could get Baker. I mean, I don't really care for Baker, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. So again, I think the Colts are a threat but I don't think they overtake us in the AFC South just yet. So I think it's pretty safe to say I still think the Titans are the favorite to win the AFC South. Now, one other piece of news in the NFL that overshadowed all of this was finding out this morning that the Chiefs gave permission to Tyreek Hill and his agent to seek a trade. And of course, it looked like the Chiefs were going to pay Tyreek Hill upwards of close to $30 million, or at least right where Devontae Adams was getting paid. Because remember, Devontae Adams got traded from the Packers to the Las Vegas Raiders and got a big contract from the Raiders, and I believe was a 5-year deal. And I want to say 60 million guaranteed. It was like $100 million contract, 60 million guaranteed, comes out to about 28 million a year. And so that makes him the highest paid wide receiver in the league. And it looked like Tyreek Hill was also going to get something close to that, but looks like the Chiefs can't afford to pay him. I mean, they gave $450 million to Pat Mahomes. They've given a bunch of money to Travis Kelce. They've given a bunch of money to Chris Jones. They're still paying Frank Clark. So they really didn't have much more money left around. So they didn't want to pay Tyreek Hill. So they traded him. They traded him to the Miami Dolphins. And the Dolphins give up their first round pick this year, their second round pick this year, I believe a fourth rounder. I believe they gave up, I'm trying to remember. Let me see if I can find the compensation for Tyreek Hill. But I want to say it was their 1, their 2, their 4 this year, and a 4 next year. Okay, 5 draft picks. So they gave up their number 1 this year. That's number 29. They gave up their second round pick, number 50, a fourth round pick in this year's draft, and they also gave up fourth and sixth round picks in next year's draft. So now the Kansas City Chiefs have 2 number 1 picks, they have 2 number 2 picks, they have 2 number 4s, and then they have 2 number 4s and 2 number 6s in 2023. Dolphins gave up a lot, but now they have 2 very fast receivers in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and you got Mike Gesicki back, and you got a pretty decent back in Myles Gaskin. You got Raheem Mostert from the 49ers with a new head coach, which I agree with a lot of people. That puts a lot of pressure on Tua Tagovailoa. The clock is ticking. The pressure is on. Tua's got to produce now. So I believe this makes Miami, if Tua plays well, I don't think they threaten the the Bills yet, but I think they can climb up there and do it. I mean, last year they lost 7 in a row, then they won 7 in a row and almost nearly made the playoffs. So the Dolphins have the capability to do some damage in the AFC East, especially with those two. But I do worry Tyreek could get in a little bit of trouble down there in South Beach. But again, now the question is, what happens with Kansas City? Because now, and DeMarcus Robertson, I think, is also heading out as well. I think he might be heading to the Raiders, if I'm not mistaken. And now the Chiefs suddenly don't have too many weapons. They still got Travis Kelce, and obviously I think that means that the Packers and the Chiefs are going to draft wide receivers in the first round. So if the Titans want like a Chris Olave or Jameson Williams, you're going to have to jump in front of both of those teams in order to do so. So that's something that's going to have to happen as far as that. And I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs, they have back-to-back picks now. So they have 29 and I believe 30 because I believe the Dolphins got that pick from somebody else, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say they got that pick for somebody else. And so now it's with Kansas City. So, man, that was a bombshell. That was definitely a bombshell. I did not see that coming. I did not expect that, but it has happened. Let's see, Clay, what's up with you? What's up with you, Clay? Ken Moore and Colts finished 3 games worse than us. Matt Ryan isn't 3 games better than Wentz. So he says no. Uh, I hear you on that, Ken. Definitely. Let's see. I bet Julio retires. Injury still a problem. Too loyal to trade number 17. And you know what? I could see that being a problem because it does seem like on the surface, and I see on the surface, it does look like the Tennessee Titans are extremely too loyal to Ryan Tannehill. They're afraid of making him mad. And the reason why I say that is that Marcus Mariota just signed a 2-year deal to go to Atlanta. Signed a 2-year deal to go to Atlanta. And, of course, everybody, is happy for Marcus, hoping that, he gets a chance to kind of, do well. And as a guy, I love Marcus. I mean, as the football player, yes, I turned against him. But at the same time, you hope Marcus does well. And AJ put out a tweet, but then he also deleted it saying, best leader I've ever had. And, Derek Mason on 1025 The Game discussed that, saying that wasn't good by AJ to put that tweet out because you're basically saying Marcus Mariota is a better leader than Ryan Tannehill, that is a shot at Ryan Tannehill and everything. And, I think we as a society have gotten too soft on people's feelings and emotions. And we are so worried about what others think of what we do. I mean, others think of what you do. And I'm honestly like this. If that's what you believe, don't take it down. I know probably somebody got in his ear and said, yeah, you might want to take that down after getting some comments. But I feel like this. A lot of fans and a lot of the Titans need to stop coddling Tannehill. Stop being so freaking worried about Tannehill's feelings. I mean, that tweet is out there. Marcus was a pretty good leader. He wasn't maybe a great quarterback at the time, but he was a leader. One thing that I will say about Marcus that Tannehill never did, especially in the playoff, whenever the bad things happened and the team lost, Marcus would at least take ownership. Marcus would say, you know what? It's on me. It's on me. I'm the quarterback of the team. It's my job to lead us to victory. I did not do that. Marcus would at least take responsibility, even when it is not his fault. Even when we know it wasn't Marcus's fault, he still took ownership. That is something that Ryan Tannehill did not do after the playoff game. He never once said, hey, it's on me. I cost us this game. My turnovers cost us the game. Nobody else threw those 3 interceptions. I did. I cost us this game. I cost us the Super Bowl. And I'm going to make sure I am better for my team. That is what a real leader is supposed to say and do. Tannehill didn't do none of that in the press conference. He kept saying we. And I know there's no I in team, but at that moment, that's where you should have said I. And you haven't heard from Tannehill since. He's basically in exile. then disappeared off the face of the earth. No clue where he is. So hopefully Marcus does do well in Atlanta. I am definitely cheering for him. Let me get some of the comments, and then we're going to get ready to head towards the end of the show, talk a couple of mock drafts and stuff. It's Ben says, do you think we found a backup running back for Derrick Henry since Dante Foreman went to another team? I know we have a lot of running backs on the tight team. That's why we got Dontrell Hilliard. I'm glad that he's back. I do think the Tennessee Titans do find a suitable backup in the draft, maybe a Kenneth Walker. That's the one and only back that comes to mind for me. But I do think the Titans do take a look at that. Ben Fairchild, what's up? Glad you're on the show. A lot of people like that's a bombshell. Dolphins receiving core definitely got scarier. I do agree with that. AJ, yeah, AJ's gonna get major paid. I do agree with that. Let's see. Look what happened to Panda in South Beach. Exactly. I think the Titans draft for O-line first or a quarterback. And that is going to be a very interesting wonder of what they do. I think Clay agrees with me about Tannehill. Yep. Johnny Bell said No Flag Film does a good job. I agree. I did like some of his stuff and everything. So, Marcus being with Arthur Smith, I think does help him. Says there's no I in team, but there is an M and an E. That is true. And Titan Store says AJ's about to get paid. And you're darn right he's about to get paid. And well deserved. So I definitely agree with that. These again are still my top needs. I still think we need to draft a wide receiver. We definitely need help at the offensive line position. We still do need a tight end, and we got to look at a quarterback. So with that being said, here's a couple of mock drafts that I have done for the Tennessee Titans. And so if you take a look, you may have to look in a little closer. This was from the draft network that I did. I was able to get Chris Olave in round 1 to go to the Tennessee Titans. Now, again, Chris Olave just had his pro day today, and obviously, word is he was very impressive and everything. And Garrett Wilson was as well. So it could be hard for both of those guys to still be there and everything. And Mike Vrabel was in attendance at Ohio State's pro day, as also offensive coordinator Todd Downing was at Ole Miss's pro day taking a look at Matt Corral. Also, I'm trying to see what other pro days are happening. I don't know. I didn't hear where John Robinson was. I think John Robinson probably was at Ohio State's pro day as well. So that will be very, very interesting. Of course, we got Memphis's pro day tomorrow. Memphis, North Dakota State, Penn State, Cincinnati, all their pro days are tomorrow. So it's going to be very interesting to see where everybody goes for those pro days tomorrow. But I got Olave at 26. At 90, I picked a tight end, Greg Dulcich from UCLA. In the 4th round, I got Tyrese Robinson, an interior offensive lineman from Oklahoma. In the 4th round, also got Bo Melton, a wide receiver from Rutgers. And also, I got a cornerback, Monteric Brown. I cannot remember the school that he was from in the 5th round. And then in the 6th round, I got Tyquan Thornton at wide receiver. And I believe I got another, I got a safety as well. Kind of add some depth there. But that was my mock draft with the Draft Network. Now going to the PFF Pro Football Focus mock draft, I went with Sky Moore because a lot of the good guys were gone. I mean, Bernard Raymond was there, and I tried to do some trading back. Trading on PFF is not easy at all. It is very difficult to make a trade. But I went ahead and I stuck with the pick, and I got Sky Moore. I really like a lot about him. TD has watched a lot of film. Very impressed with Sky Moore. I liked him. And then I got Kellen Dersh, a tackle from Arizona State in the third round. Traded back in the fourth round, got an extra pick. I went with Jelani Woods in the fourth round from Virginia. Then I picked up a corner, Cordell Flott from LSU. In the fifth round, I picked up another wide receiver in Tyquan Thornton, the speedster from Baylor. In the sixth round, I went ahead and got Josh Rivas at corner. At guard. And then I was able to trade. I ended up picking up an extra 7th-round pick from Kansas City when I traded that 4th-round pick. So I got a guard. Then I went and got a running back from Texas San Antonio with Sincere McCormick. And then I got a kicker in the last round in Cameron Dicker, even though I know we got Randy Bullock. But you could probably get out of that kicker contract if Cameron Dicker beats him out. So, those are just that was just a couple of mock drafts that I was able to do. Let me know in the comments section, what did y'all think of my mock draft? Did y'all like the mock draft? Do you think it sucks? What do you think of some of those picks? Let's see. 615 says, can't wait to talk wide receivers. So yes, I am going to be joining Lee on the 615 podcast. We're going to talk wide receivers in the draft coming up. So definitely stay tuned for that. Titus Torch says, I really like Jelani Woods. I think he's athletic. Definitely has a few things to work on. I believe Virginia Pro Day is tomorrow. So we're definitely going to see where everybody ends up going with that. And then on the 25th, let's see, Notre Dame has their pro day, and Boston College does too. So we know they'll probably be up there for Zion Johnson. Obviously, Vrabel will be there on Friday for his son, Tyler Vrabel, as well. Titan Tour says, Sincere McCormick, that late is great too. Yes, I did hear Big Guy, my little brother chiming in. Tyreek Hill went to the Dolphins. I've already talked about that. So you got to go back to earlier in the show and definitely talk about that as well. But everybody, that I think just about does it. I can't remember anything else. Oh, yeah. I'm going to close out the show. Of course, we call this show Free Agency Madness, as in talking about the NCAA tournament that's going on. My bracket, I don't know how some of y'all brackets are looking. Again, I appreciate everybody tuning into the show. My bracket is kind of shot, even though I got a couple of brackets with Duke winning one and Arizona winning the other. So they're still in it. They're still in the running to win the national championship, but I know fully my bracket is kind of shot. So I'm just going to sit back and enjoy. Definitely proud of my alma mater, the University of Memphis. The Tigers play hard against the overall number 1 seed Gonzaga on Saturday. Nearly pulled out the win against Gonzaga. They had their chance to win. They just could not get over old man Will Ferrell, a.k.a. Drew Timme, who looked like he's about 45 years old out there playing with some 20-year-olds. But definitely impressed with the Zags. Memphis kept moving on, couldn't move on. I'm happy that Kentucky is out. Definitely happy about that. Definitely don't mind Tennessee being out, although I probably will in the future at some point be talking a lot about Tennessee in the very not too distant future. Got something coming up there. So good luck to Michigan. And also North Carolina, definitely still in it as well. They're in the Sweet 16 also. So shout out to North Carolina. And also, again, Duke is still in it, and Arizona. So it's been crazy with with college basketball. March Madness definitely living up to the name, even though NFL free agency has kind of overshadowed that. So I'm having fun watching some games and everything, and I hope you guys are as well. Also, I want to say, first of all, thank you to everybody who has supported the channel. I'm very much right at 1,200 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to the show, please help me get there. Uh, you will not regret it if you do. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell so you know the live notifications coming, and also smash that like button while you're at it as well if you haven't done so already. Again, you're helping me as well. Super chats, of course, are appreciated as well. And so I thank everybody for keeping up with me. And last but not least, um, before we do get out of here tonight, I do want to make an announcement. Crisis can happen. I definitely want to make an announcement in support. Um, for any of you, especially in the Memphis area, and may even be able to work surrounding areas. If y'all do need help with your taxes to get your taxes done, definitely reach out to Continental Source Tax Consultants. You can definitely reach my friend Miss Allison Conley. Miss Allison Conley, who is a licensed uh, helps prepare taxes with her company and everything. So they can definitely help you with business and personal tax preparation and everything with that. Will definitely help you in making sure your taxes are done right and that you get the best possible tax refund. She Continental Sources tax consultants. That's who I use in doing my taxes and everything. So if you need help doing your taxes, you can reach out to me. I can give you some more information as well, or you could give Miss Allison a call at 901-654-8435. That is on the flyer there. Again, 901-654-8435. Or also with Miss Carmen at 901-949-2871. And they can definitely talk to you. They may be able to even do it if you're not in the Memphis area. They may let you send stuff to them so that they are able to do your taxes for you. Now, let's see. Reggie B's coming in and saying, Ola Adani just got re-signed. I have not seen anything on that just yet. I will definitely try to see if there is any report of that, of Adani getting re-signed. I'm trying to see. Uh, let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything on Ola Adani getting re-signed. I'm trying to take a look at that. I don't see anything with Ola Adani re-signed just yet. So if you can provide me um the source of that, yeah, I can definitely help. Let's see. I'm seeing some where they're saying, okay, I do see it. I do see it with Titans. Yeah, but Ben Arthur, and also NFL trade rumors. Yeah, the Titans are re-signing Ola Adani to a 1-year deal. Um, Definitely another great move, bringing him back. Definitely, for special teams and for help on defense as well, because he definitely did some good things as far as the pass rusher. So I like that move right there. But everybody, thank y'all for tuning in to Titans and Truth. I'm your man Chris, aka Blue Enforcer. I did just see that. Miss Shara, how you doing? How you doing, sweetie? Thank you for tuning into the show. I definitely do appreciate that. But yes, did get the breaking news. Ola Adani has re-signed with the Tennessee Titans. So once again, y'all, thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the channel. If you haven't already, hit that subscriber button and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And also, Definitely make sure y'all stay tuned as we get ready to preview the draft. So thank y'all for tuning in. Tighten up, because that's all we know how to do. I holla.